Today's horoscope from Astrocademy. When it comes to sex and love, one way to analyze how each zodiac sign approaches these themes is by referencing their planetary ruler. Saturn is your celestial guardian. While Saturn can be seen as a malefic planet, one that is particularly stoic and icy, it is also one that represents maturity, stability, strength, and loyalty. This is why these themes are particularly important to you in your relationships. You're unlikely to be entirely detached during intimacy, but if you are going to devote yourself to someone, you put in everything that you have. Prepare to have a busy day at work. Usually, you like to be diligent and organized when it comes to your work responsibilities. But as the moon enters quick Gemini, you may find that you can multitask several duties at once throughout your workday. It would not be surprising if you took on more commitments since you will have the capacity to handle a larger workload. However, you will need to remain on task since the flighty lunar energy could cause you to lose interest quickly. Focus on seeing each responsibility through. Until the moon returns to your financial sector later in the week, while Venus and Juno ended all planetary activity here earlier in the month, there is still unfinished business. The moon's return will be a chance to tie up loose ends and gather all the insight from months of planetary activity, and with a new read on where things currently stand, plot a path forward. Today's aspect means you're going to stop to smell the roses whether you like it or not. Bend down and tie your shoelaces. Pull over and check the map. Get into the groove of whatever daily life means to you and just be here now. It's not a time to initiate brand new projects, but rather a time to check in with how you feel about current projects. Regarding your diet, you may want to check whether you're eating enough fruits and vegetables. You will be supported in your love life, but you will also be going through a period of work and great responsibility. You may have some problems with those you work with because they have some revolutionary ideas concerning work that will generate some conflicts. You appreciate a certain amount of change and newness but refuse to question how things have been set up by some of your family and friends. You like to hang on to what you know and so find comfort in the family nest. While life will try and push back or get in the way today, with the moon not only still in a playful and creative part of your chart after yesterday's eclipsing full moon but at a friendly aspect to Venus in an adventurous part of your chart, this is a day for keeping your work hat off. Fortunately, this is what the professional gods are also calling for, as you not only take a wait-and-see approach ahead of the moon's return to your work sector tomorrow, but as you step back and get your bearings during a short break in planetary activity on the career front. With the moon still in your romantic sector after yesterday's eclipsing full moon, this is something that is still running its course. Helping to give these already potent romantically charged lunar vibes even more juice is the moon's friendly aspect to Venus, the planet of love, now in her final 9 days in an adventurous part of your chart. Separating from a friendly aspect to Jupiter in your romantic sector, this is aiding Venus' mission to bring the spirit of romance and adventure together. Our eyes in the sky. Before leaving an intuitive and imaginative part of your chart today, the moon will spend its final hours at a friendly aspect to Pluto in your financial sector, as it does with each monthly visit. The difference is that this is their first encounter since Pluto turned direct, and as he will be leaving again in January, this will give you an intuitive sense that the tide has turned as well as a chance to look to the future with confidence. It is just as the moon is wrapping up the weekend's eclipsing full moon in your career sector with a friendly aspect to Pluto in your work sector that Venus, in her last full week in your income sector, moves into a friendly aspect to Uranus on the career front. This wraps up an important few days across the income, work and career fronts, but with things continuing to evolve as Venus not only works to make her final days as lucrative as possible but to leave you with something that you can commit to. It is just before leaving your work sector and wrapping up the weekend's eclipsing full moon that the moon will spend its final hours at a friendly aspect to Pluto, for the first time since his direct turn in your income sector. With the brakes off, this allows the tail end of the wave this has created to give income potential a nudge, just as Venus, the planet of money, is working to make the most of her last full week in your career sector. A tendency to push yourself forward creates an adverse impression with the people you meet. Even if it's not intentional, your attitude disrupts any potential for things to run smoothly. Try to restrain yourself. Otherwise, you're unlikely to impress anyone, since your boastful manner makes you seem conceited and unapproachable. As you cannot know what the future holds and things can change quickly, prepare to be flexible, also in financial matters. You might suffer unpleasant consequences if you make a big investment or acquisition now. If you're given this advice, remain skeptical and take some time to consider, as the information might not be the best. The moon moves from Taurus to Gemini today. This lunar switch allows us to discuss the events that unfolded during the lunar eclipse. If the eclipse energy is making a situation cause emotional hurt of some kind, it's important to let out any pent-up emotions while discussing it with friends. The more you hold things in, the harder it will be to release the energy and move past it. It is halfway between the Sun's departure from your work sector last week and Venus' return next week, that the Moon makes a well-timed return to your income sector. As well as returning to ensure your nose for money is sharp in the heart of the working week, and as you prepare to move into the new month, this is a chance to get a sense of where the money is before Venus, the planet of money, returns to steer work and job matters in a lucrative direction. It's hard to bring your feelings under control calmly and rationally. If you don't, you make decisions you later come to regret. Conversely, if you're normally a calm person, who keeps their feelings to themselves, it is easier for you to show them, enabling you to create clarity, to deepen and improve on any personal relationships in which you're involved. If you plan to make some financial transactions, wait a little and think things over at your leisure. There are some obstacles in the way that prevent the matter being handled as smoothly as you imagined. Even though you'd like to buy something, far better to wait if you want a favorable outcome. Be careful with your health and avoid pushing yourself too far. Circumstances sometimes result in greater difficulties arising than you might expect, and for this reason you need to save and ration your energy. Take a step back, don't get unduly stressed. Being too ambitious doesn't help you achieve your goal.